How are you all doing? This is the place to be this morning. Oh, heavens no, right? Yes. So everybody doing okay with the heat? Yeah, it's tough. I guess I just heard on the way in that we're having a continuation of this through the weekend. So, yeah. So this is with us for a little bit. So do whatever you can to stay cool. I know some of you are walkers, right? You get out and walk. Anybody walk this morning? No. Good. Okay. Good. Yes, I walked around the house. I was inside the house. Yeah, just even too hot this morning at like 6 or 7 to get out and do that. So there's there's some things we can do in yoga to help with the heat, to kind of combat the overheating in the body. One of them, believe it or not, is breathing. There's a big surprise, right? So in yoga philosophy, they talk about different channels in the body. So some of you might be familiar with Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and they talk about meridians. Anybody know about the meridians in Chinese medicine? Not so much. Okay, so scratch that. So we're just going to go right into yoga philosophy. I like to give people that comparison in case you know that. So what they say in Ayurvedic medicine or Indian medicine, India coming from India, is that there are channels in the body through which our energy runs. And these are called nadis. And so they're very little influence we have over the nadis directly. But there is one way that we can influence these energy channels in our body, and it's through breath. It's through the right nostril and the left nostril themselves. So what they say is that breathing in and out through the right nostril is very stimulating or very heating. Breathing in and out through the left nostril is calming and cooling, right? So if your energy is very low, breathing through the right nostril can be very helpful, and we'll do this little breathing technique in a minute. But when the heat is high, and how many of us have trouble in the heat? Let me just ask that question. Okay, so a lot of people here. How many find that the heat is preferable to the cold? So a few people in that category too. Okay, so for those of you who find the heat like totally oppressive, and I know today is like, this is an exception for even us heat lovers. If you find the heat kind of oppressive, breathing through the left nostril can be very helpful in combating that. So I'm going to ask you to take your right hand. I'm going to do this backwards so you can see. So take your right hand and take your first 3 fingers and just let them come down to the sort of the pad where your thumb is, right? So you've got your pinky finger and your thumb extended, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the thumb to block off the right nostril, and we're going to use the pinky finger to block off the left nostril. Not at the same time, okay? At different times. Just want to make that clear. So when we block off the right nostril with the thumb, and you don't want to like mash your nose, you just want to go very gently with the thumb. You could even like just put it at the base of your nostril. Same thing with your pinky finger, although your pinky finger isn't quite the masher that the thumb is, right? So just block off that right nostril and take a couple of breaths in and out through your left. And it may feel like you're not getting a whole lot of air in there because we just halved the amount of air that's going in and out through your in and out of your body. Okay, and then release that and switch sides and just block off your left nostril. And now you're breathing in and out through your right. And then switch sides again. So you get your thumb blocking off your left nostril. So for those who just came in, we're taking our right hand, take the first 3 fingers and bring them down toward the pad of your hand. So your thumb and your pinky finger are extended, and we're using the thumb to block off the right nostril. And then we're switching and we're using the pinky finger to block off the left nostril. So I can see you all concentrating really hard on this. And this can be a really challenging breathing practice, again, because you're having, switch sides, you're having the amount of, or cutting in half Having and having, right? You don't know what I'm saying, having. Cutting in half the amount of air that's going in and out of your body. So switch sides one more time. Okay, and then let that go and just go back to your normal breath. And you'll find, oh yeah, I can take a bigger, deeper breath here. So when we do this alternate nostril breathing, and in yoga, there's a Sanskrit term for this. It's called nadi shodhana. So nadis being the energy channels in the body, and we're going back and forth between the two energy channels. So when we do this alternate nostril breathing, it's a balancing breath, right? Because right is heating and left is cooling, right is invigorating and left is calming. So when we go back and forth, we're engaging both kinds of energy and we're trying to create some balance. So yes. I would say that's a great thing to do daily. Yeah. So morning time is a good time to do that. So I can never resist a plug for the neti pot. So when you're done with your neti pot, that's the best time to do it. Do your neti pot and then do some nadi shodhana. Yes, yes, yes. Also, if you find that you're in a place where you're feeling kind of anxious, right? That's right-sided energy. Really kind of amping up, do a little bit of this alternate nostril breathing, right? So I'll tell you just a little quick story. So I learned about this many years ago when I was going through yoga teacher training, and I practiced it, and I thought it was pretty helpful. And the first time I went out to Kripalu in Western Mass, I was assisting a program out there. And this was many years after I did my original teacher training. And so as being an assistant, part of my duties was to lead the class. We were training new teachers. And it was the first time I had to teach to 150 people. I was nervous, right? And I thought, oh, I know what I can do. I can just sit here and do some nadi shodhana. So I sat for about 10 minutes. And I'm sitting, I had prepared my space. I was sitting and I was doing my nadi shodhana. And I opened my eyes and I looked out and they were all there. I didn't even hear them come in. But I really felt centered and I thought, wow, this stuff really works. I can really tell that it works. So using this breathing technique can really help center you. If you want to cool down, what you can do is left-sided breathing only, right? So take your right hand, again, just as a refresher, would take those first 3 fingers and just bring them down to the palm. And then your thumb and your pinky finger are extended. And now we're going to just block off the right nostril. We're going to keep that left nostril. So as a matter of fact, if you want to let your little finger come in, that's fine. So we're just going to use that thumb and just gently block off the right nostril. Close your eyes if that feels okay. And just begin to breathe in and out through your left nostril. And again, you might notice it might feel like a lot of effort at first because the amount of air coming in and out is cut in half because we're going through the left nostril. And if your left nostril's feeling a little blocked this morning, that can make it even a little more challenging. So as you're doing this, just continue to breathe. Relax. Breathing in and out through that left nostril. As you're inhaling, feel the coolness of the air. As you're exhaling, see if you can feel that the air is a little bit warmer on the way out. Breathing in and breathing out. See if you can slow your breath down. Take some deeper breaths. Let your belly expand on the inhalation and let your belly gently contract on the exhalation. If your hand gets tired and you need to switch, you can always take your other hand up and just block off that right nostril. Or if you need to support your right elbow or your right arm, you can always take the other hand and give it a little support. Couple more really full deep breaths in and out through the left side of the nose. And after your next exhalation, you can release your thumb from your nose and just keep your eyes closed and breathe in and out through both nostrils and just notice. Take one more breath in, let it out with a sigh. Let your eyes gently open. Did anybody notice anything doing that little exercise just for a couple of minutes? Did you notice something just different about your breath? Maybe you didn't notice that you were cooler, but perhaps you feel a little more here, a little more present. So focusing on breath in that way can also distract us from that, oh my God, I'm so hot kind of feeling, right? Can bring our minds to a different place. So that's a breathing technique you can do. There are physical postures that you can do for cooling. One of the most efficient is something called legs up the wall pose. So how many of you can get up and down from the floor fairly comfortably? Okay, so a fair amount of people. So if you can't get up and down from the floor, you can always use your bed to do this. So you can get on your bed and use if you've got a headboard, you can do that. So I'm just going to demonstrate for you one of the modified ways of doing legs up the wall. So this is legs up the chair pose, right? So getting down on the floor, I'm going to get my backside as close to the chair as I can, and then I'm going to lie down and bring my legs up here. That's the whole pose, by the way. Pretty good, huh? Yeah, pretty comfortable. So if there was a wall here instead of the chair, my legs would be up this way. Now, I like this. If you get swelling in your ankles or your lower legs, this is amazing. 5 to 10 minutes lying on the floor like this can really have an effect on what's going on in your legs. Oh, I lost my mic. Okay, so either of those, and again, if you were on a bed and you had your legs up on the headboard, so what that does is it brings your your head a little lower than your heart, which is great. It also helps to return the blood in your lower legs, right? So it's a little harder for the feet and the legs to heal if you have an injury. It's a little harder for the lower legs to heal because the blood flow isn't as efficient in the lower legs, especially as we get older. We can lose a little bit of that efficiency just as a matter of aging. So getting down on the floor and doing that, I do this every day. I do a little bit of legs over the chair or up the wall or whatever I've got, handy. 5 or 10 minutes, that's all it takes. That can be very cooling for your system as well. So, any tips that you guys have to keep cool besides be in the air conditioning? Right. Yeah. Wise guys, all of you, wise guys.
Put a wet towel on your neck.
Oh, wet towel on the neck. That's a great one. Yes. Or on your belly. Yeah. Just kind of, if you got an overhead fan, I did this the other night because we don't have air conditioning, by the way. So I had an overhead fan and I took a washcloth and put it on my belly. It was amazing how cool I got, how quickly. It was like, oh, this is great. I can go to sleep now. Anything else? Yeah. Just wet your head. Oh, that's a great one. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Just under the shower or under the sink or whatever. Okay. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of breathing through both nostrils now. How about that? So if you want to bring your feet underneath your knees and sit up close to the front edge of your chair. And notice the parts of your feet that are in contact with the floor. So notice the bottoms of your toes. Can you feel the bottoms of your toes where they're touching the floor? If you're in your shoes, same thing. Just feel where they're touching the inside of the bottom of your shoes. And then notice the balls of your feet. That's the spot where the toes kind of sprout out, right? So each of the toes has a little ball mound there. So see if you can feel all of those. Now for some of us, if you've got a hammer toe or if you've got a bunion or something of that nature where the toe kind of crosses over the other, you may not be able to feel the bottom of the toe or the bottom of that toe mound on the floor as easily, but just see what you do sense. And now notice where your arches are in the insides of your feet. Notice if you can feel a little lift in that area, right? So if your arches are flatter, you might feel the arch on the floor. If you've got some height and some lift in the arches, you might not feel it. If you're in a shoe that has some support in it, you're likely going to feel that support underneath the arch, right? And then what about the outside arch? Y'all remember we have an outside arch right out here, right? On the little toe side of the foot. Can you feel that on the outside, on the bottom of on the floor? Floor? Yeah, the floor. And then what about your heels? Can you feel the inside and outside edges of your heels and the backs of your heels? And notice how you're concentrating on all of this awareness of your feet and what's happened to your breath while you're concentrating on all that. It probably got pretty shallow. Okay, so draw your attention away from your feet and now go up to where you're sitting on the chair and notice if you can feel your sitting bones. Are you on the front of your sitting bones? That would mean you're leaning forward a little bit. Are you on the back of your sitting bones, kind of tucking your tailbone under? That would mean you're kind of slouching a little in your chair. Or is there more weight in one side than the other? So if you've got a little something happening in your hip or your back, maybe it's less comfortable to have pressure on one side or the other. So again, we're not trying to change anything, make anything different than it is. We're just kind of noticing. So your feet are on the floor, you're noticing the sensation of the contact of your feet on the floor, you're noticing the sensation of your sitting bones on the chair. And then notice your hands. Are your hands tight? Are your fingers clenched? Are your palms soft? Are they rigid? Are your hands touching your legs? Are they touching bare legs or are they touching clothing? Are they touching each other? Maybe the palms are turned up. And can you feel the fingertips or the finger pads rather? The thumbs, the first, second, third, and fourth fingers? And is there a different quality to the sensation of that touch through all the fingers? And as you're sensing your fingers in the palms of your hands, what's happened to your breath? And then turning your attention to your shoulders. Are your shoulders over your hips? Are they up by your ears? Are they down by your sacrum? Are they forward? Are they back? And is there a connection between your shoulders and your jaw? Is your jaw tight? Are your teeth clenched? Are the upper teeth and lower teeth touching each other? What would happen if you just created a little space between the upper and lower teeth and let your tongue be relaxed in the bottom of your mouth? So you're noticing your feet and the quality of the contact of your feet on the floor and your sitting bones and where you are in the chair. You're noticing your hands, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. And what about your face, around your eyes, around your mouth, around your ears? We tend to hold a lot of tension in our faces. Some of that might be because of vision issues. Some of that can be hearing issues. We kind of create a different expression on our face when we're having difficulty hearing. We kind of strain with some of the muscles in our face to try and hear a little bit better, to try and see a little bit better. Or perhaps that's just where you tend to hold tension. And now taking into account all of these different parts of your body, begin to deepen your breathing. As you inhale and exhale, imagine the breath moving all the way down to your toes, to where your toes are in contact with the floor, and all the way up into your face, and every part of you in between. Breathing in and breathing out. The air going in, the air going out is creating more awareness of your physical body, more awareness of the contact of your physical body with your environment. The coolness of the floor, the warmth of your seat, if your hands are on your legs, the warmth of that connection between the palms of your hands and your legs, whether your legs are bare or whether you're touching your legs through clothing. And the sensation of warmth or heat in your face as well. Breathing deeply in and out. I'm going to invite you to just imagine that you're breathing in and out through the left nostril. So we're not doing any kind of a physical move to block off the right. We're just using the imagination, the awareness, the consciousness to create an airflow in that left nostril. Now, as you continue to breathe with that concentration on the left nostril, I'm going to invite you to also be aware of your right nostril. And what we're going to do is a round breath here, where you breathe in through your left and out through your right. So again, using just awareness, consciousness, imagination, if you will, breathe in through your left nostril and breathe out through your right. Just visualize that happening. So we're not blocking the nose physically, we're just doing this with the mind. Breathing in through the left and out through the right. And at some point switching that direction so that you're breathing in through your right and out through your left. Breathing in through the right and out through the left, using just your conscious awareness and your imagination to breathe in through the right and out through the left. And now shift awareness so that you're breathing in and out through both nostrils equally and evenly. And let your eyes gently open. So were you able to get that sense of breathing in through one nostril and out through the other? Yeah, there's almost a visual thing for some people that happens where you can see that. For some people there's a texture, right? So there's like a feeling, what do I want to say, like a soft or a hard feeling, or a flow versus a restricted feeling. So people have different ideas, different perceptions of what that feels like. So let's do this. We're going to start to add a little bit of physical movement, and we're going to do very little physical movement today, just again because of the temperature there. So as we're sitting nice and straight with the shoulders over the hips, I'm just going to ask you to turn your head, just your head, not your body, just your head, turn your head to the right as far as it'll go. And when you get your head turned as far as it'll go, turn your eyes as far to the right as they'll go. And see what you can see. Like, just take note of what you're able to see there in your peripheral vision. And then bring your head back to center. Okay, so you took a little mental snapshot of that, right? Same thing on the left. So just turn your head, just your head, not your shoulders, not your body, just your head. Turn your head to the left. When you get your head turned as far as it will go, turn your eyes as far as they'll go. And notice what you can see. And then come back to center. Okay. So did you get a sense that on one side you had a little more range than on the other? Okay, so for most of us that's true. We have a little more range when we go one way or the other. So let's do this. Let's bring the chin down toward the chest. And let your neck muscles relax in the back. And then see if you can pull your chin in toward that little notch in your clavicles. So y'all know where the little notch is right in the front there? Yeah, so see if you can just pull your chin in a little bit more toward that. So we're really focusing on that, and then relax it. And again, pull the chin in, really, really engage, pull the chin in, and then relax. And breathe as you're doing this. So just breathing in and out, nice and smooth and round. So one more time, we're going to pull the chin in, and then relax. Good. And lift your chin up. Okay, we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder. And as you take your right ear to your right shoulder, we're just going to let the neck on the left side relax a little bit here, right? You might create a little movement here if that feels okay. Just kind of testing a little bit. Where is it tight? I find if I do like a no movement, right? Kind of that side to side, but just a really gentle one, I can feel the different muscles. When I turn my chin up, it's a little more here, and when I turn my chin down, it's a little more in the front. So I'm just kind of noticing that. So find the sweet spot, and when I say sweet spot, you might say painful spot. So find that spot that gives you the most sensation, and just hang out there for a little bit. And breathe deeply. Inhaling, exhaling. And then bring your head back to center. Good. Notice if the left side of your neck feels a little longer than the right side of your neck. And then we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder. So same thing. So you might notice as you do this, there's a little bit of creaking in there, a little bit of crunching in there. Give it a moment. Just kind of hang out for a moment. Keep breathing, and then maybe investigate a little slight movement there, right? So very slight movement for the neck. Breathing in, breathing out. And find that sweet spot on this side. It might be different now, right? So maybe last time your head was in one position and you could really feel it, and this side it's a little bit different. And then slowly bring your head back up to center. Good. So hopefully your neck now feels the same length on each side. We're going to roll the shoulders a couple times here. So just rolling those shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then let's get the elbows in there. So lift up and circle around and listen to the noise in your shoulders. It's like a symphony up here. And at some point we're going to switch direction, just go around the other way. All right. And then let's extend the arms out in front with your palms up, and we're going to bring the arms all the way back behind. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Right. Some of those chairs are close. Then turn your palms down and come back around to the front. So we're just going to do this movement a little bit coming back. And let's add some breathing as we do. So as you inhale, bring the arms back with the palms up. And as you exhale, turn the palms down and come forward. As you come forward, you might cross one arm over the other if you'd like. You don't have to. Maybe mix it up. Good. Couple more. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together as the arms get back there. Good. 2 more. Great. Last one. Okay, and then we're going to bring the hands to the lap. We're going to take just the right arm, bring it up into the left. So reach up and lean into that side a little bit so you feel a stretch here in the side of the body. And then come all the way down like you're going to touch the floor. So lean down like you're touching the floor. So breathe in as you come up to the left. Breathe out as you come down to the right. Breathing in and out. So you might bring your feet a little wider apart if you don't feel steady on your chair, like if you feel like you're going to fall off the chair when you come down. So stretch through that right side of the body as best you can when you're reaching up, and stretch through the left side of the body as best you can when you're reaching down. 2 more times, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Last time. Excellent. And then we're going to come back to center. Take a moment here. Just notice any difference between left and right. And then we'll take that left arm, same thing, come up and to the right, reach, 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 breathe in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to come down to the left. So we're going from the floor to the ceiling, across the body at a diagonal here. You can look at your hand if you'd like as the hand moves through space. If that makes you feel a little lightheaded or dizzy, don't follow your hand. You can keep your eyes forward or wherever they give you the most support and comfort, right? So breathing in and breathing out, that's the most important thing here. Good. How about 2 more? So as you reach to the right, you're really stretching through that left side of the body. As you reach down to the left, you're stretching the right side of the body. Last one. Great. And let that go. Good. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back, and down a couple more times. Wonderful. And then we're going to take the left arm and bring it around behind the back and just let it rest there on the small of your back. And now we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder. So this is a little different stretch, goes a little farther down. We're going to take that right hand, bring it up over the head, and put your hand kind of where in the area of your ear, right? And just let your arm be heavy. So don't pull your head, don't actively pull your head, but just let your arm be heavy so it gives a little traction on your head. And see if you can feel that stretch through the left side of the neck, maybe down into the left shoulder. You might even feel it into the upper arm. Breathing in, breathing out. You could feel it all the way up. You could feel it up to your ear and even above your ear if you happen to be tight there. For people who clench their jaw or grind their teeth at night, this can be really helpful for releasing some of the tension that we get stored in the side of the head. Don't think about tension in your ears, but you can actually create a lot of tension in your ears with your jaw. So again, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, now don't lift your head. Just let your head stay where it is, but release your arm. Let it come back to your lap. So your head is still kind of heavy, hanging over there. And then slowly bring your head back up to center. Release that left arm, let it come back to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. And notice the difference between your left side and your right side. All right, and then take your right arm. We're going to sweep it around behind the back. So just let it rest on the small of your back there. And we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder. So same thing that we did on the other side. So let the neck muscles relax. Notice where you feel it. And then take your left hand. And bring your left hand to the right side of your head. And again, letting that arm be heavy. So without pulling, you don't want to pull, because your arm is much stronger than your neck. Your arm muscles are stronger than your neck muscles. So you could pull your head a little too far and that wouldn't be so good on that poor little neck. So breathing in, breathing out. Notice where you feel it. Again, it might be different on this side. Maybe you feel it higher up. Maybe this one is into your ear or your head, or maybe this one is down into your arm, into the neck, shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. And then releasing that arm, but keep your head where it is. Don't lift your head quite yet. Just let your head be nice and heavy. And then slowly bring your head back up. Release your hand. Let your hand rest on your lap. Close your eyes again. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel your neck. Feel your shoulders. Feel your arms. And then let your eyes gently open. Okay. So take your hands together, interlace your fingers. With your fingers interlaced, notice which thumb is on top. That's your normal way, okay? So take a deep breath in and lengthen through your spine. And as you breathe out, you're going to press your palms away and drop your chin to your chest. As you breathe in, bring your arms up overhead. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And as you breathe out, release your hands. Bring them around behind your back, interlace your fingers back there, and then lift your elbows. So try not to lift your elbows by bringing your chin forward. Try to just lift the elbows. Breathe in, breathe out. With your next exhale, you're going to release your hands, bring them around to the front, and interlace your fingers in the opposite way. So now the other thumb is on top. So it should feel, and don't change just your thumb, by the way. Change the whole orientation so that it feels like you're holding somebody else's hand. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen through your spine, and as you breathe out, you're going to press your palms away and drop your chin to your chest. Breathe in and the arms come up. Breathe out, sweep the arms around behind and interlace in the opposite way. So it's the weird way back there, right? Lift the elbows, but try not to bring the chin forward. So we're going to keep that chin kind of tucked in a little bit. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out here before we release. And then we're going to go back to the initial way. So we're going to do this a few times. So interlacing breath in and breath out. Breathing in, we come up. Breathing out, we release and bring the arms behind the back. Couple of breaths in and out as we lift those elbows. So really filling the chest with breath. With your next exhale, release and bring the hands around to the front. Interlace in the opposite way. Breathing in as you lengthen your spine. Breathing out as you press the palms away. Breathing in as the arms come up. Breathing out as the arms come out to the side and all the way down. Interlace in the opposite way back there. Good. Lifting those elbows up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Take a nice deep breath in and out, way up here in the top part of the chest if you can. And then releasing. Let's do this one more time all the way through. So a normal way to start, breathing in as you lengthen, breathing out as you press away, chin to the chest. Breathing in as we come up. Breathing out as we bring the arms back and around. Breathing in, bring those shoulders together, lifting the elbows. Next exhalation, hands come forward. This is the last time, so interlace in the opposite way. Breathing in as we lengthen through the spine. Breathing out as we press away. Breathing in as we come up. Breathing out as we release down and away. Good. Interlace, breathe in, lift and lengthen through the chest. As you breathe out, release your hands, let them float down to your lap. Close your eyes once again. Taking a breath in and out. Noticing the shoulders, the neck, the arms, the hands, the fingers. Noticing if your breath feels a little different just by opening up through these parts of the body. And let your eyes open. Okay, another little exercise we're going to do for the neck. Might sound a little bit strange, but your tongue is a muscle and it goes down into your neck. So your tongue can create tightness in your neck. How many of you notice from time to time that your tongue is just mashed to the roof of your mouth? Yeah. If most of us take just a little mental check-in, that happens quite often, especially when we're concentrating or when we're stressed, right? So if the tongue is mashed to the roof of your mouth, that means that that muscle is engaged. And it's tightening the neck here, right? So what we're going to do is a couple of exercises for the tongue to help with this. So we're going to take the tongue and press the tongue into the cheeks one at a time. We're going to press the tongue into the right cheek. And as we press the tongue into the right cheek, we're going to let that pressing actually turn the head. So let me show you what it looks like, because I can't talk it through when my tongue is on my cheek, because it's a little hard to do both. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to press my tongue first. So I get like this big bulge in the right side of my cheek, right? And as I press the tongue into the cheek, I'm going to let that sort of lead the movement of this turning of my head. So it looks like this. That's it. That's the whole movement. We do that on the right and on the left. Okay? So let's give that a try. Now, you could see me, but you can't see each other. So that's a blessing. And those of you in masks, way to go. Okay. So let's do this. Take your tongue and press it into the right cheek as hard as you can. Hard as you can. And as you're pressing that tongue into the cheek, turn your head, not your shoulders or your body, just your head. Turn your head. Keep pushing your tongue as hard as you can. It's almost like the harder you can push your tongue, the farther around your head can go. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep pushing, keep pushing. And then relax your tongue and let your head come back to center and close your eyes for a moment. And I just want you to notice how much bigger your right cheek is than your left. So it should feel significantly different, right? Let your eyes gently open. Again, we don't think about the tension that we create in our faces. It's amazing. So take your tongue and press it into the left cheek now. Push as hard as you can, and then start to turn your head all the way to the left. So you're pushing your tongue, pushing, 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 looking out over that left shoulder. And again, it's just your head that's turning. It's not your body. And you're pushing, 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 breathing. And then slowly let go of the tongue and let your head come all the way back to center. And again, close your eyes just for just a moment, just so you can notice. It's easier to notice things when you have your eyes closed, because then you're not distracted with a visual. So notice your cheeks now. And let your eyes open. Does anybody else feel like you have chipmunk cheeks? Yeah? Yeah, right? So that, again, there's just like all this tension we hold in our cheeks that we can release through these little exercises for the tongue. So another one, and this one is a little bit, we're going to do this one without the breath today. We're going to do this one in a little different way. Some of you know the lion breath. Are any of you familiar with the lion breath? Some of you are familiar with that. Okay. So we're going to do the lion face without the breath, just because it's kind of I guess it's a COVID thing, right? We just want to not be doing lion breathing together. So let's do this. Let's sit up nice and tall. And now, actually, you know what? Relax for a moment, because this is another one I need to show you. So I can't show you we can't do it together, because I can't do the tongue thing and talk at the same time. So we did side to side, right? So the tongue is a muscle. We pushed it sideways to the right. We pushed it sideways to the left. And then another thing we can do is stick the tongue out as far as it'll go. So the lion is not just about the tongue, it's also about the muscles around the eyes. It's about the muscles in the face. So I'm going to show you what the lion breath looks like. Ready? I know it's weird. It's definitely weird. But it looks, anybody have a cat? You ever see a cat when they yawn? That's what they look like, right? That's what lions look like too. So that's why they call it the lion breath. So it's like a cat, something in the cat family doing that yawn, where you stick out your tongue as far as it'll go. Because again, we're stretching the tongue. Think of the tongue as a muscle of your neck. So we're stretching the tongue, and we're also squeezing these muscles here so that we train them how to relax, right? Because I don't know that I'm doing this all the time until somebody says, "What's wrong with you?" Right? I don't know that I'm doing this all the time, because this is just my face. But then when I do this kind of squishing and I let go, I realize, oh, I have all this muscle movement in my face that I wasn't even aware of. Okay, so if you wanted to close your eyes to do this so nobody will see you, you can do that. If you have a tight-fitting mask on, you might need to pull your mask out a little bit. If you've got the N95, that might be a little bit easier with the tongue. So let's do this. Let's sit up nice and tall. Take a couple of breaths in and out, and just know that we're all going to be doing this weird thing together, so it's all fine. And when you're ready, I'm just going to ask you to open your mouth, stick your tongue out as far as it'll go, and squeeze your face as hard as you can. And then relax it. We're going to do this 3 times. So that was 1. So whenever you're ready, we're going to do the second time. And relax. And then the third time. And relax. Keeping your eyes closed. I just want you to notice your face. Notice your tongue. You might notice something in your throat, a sensation in your throat that's a little different. And combine that with the sensation you had in your cheeks. And let your eyes gently open. Okay. Are you more aware of your tongue? Yeah, right? Like in a big way. Your cheeks, yes, right? Yeah, it's like all of this different stuff. Okay, so all of this was leading up to another cooling technique we can do in yoga. And this is a combination of breathing and physical movement, right? So the breathing in and out through the left nostril, that's basically just breathing in and out through one nostril. You can do that either with your hand, or as we did a while ago, just using your own conscious awareness and imagination, you can breathe in and out that way. This is a little bit different, where we're actually going to use the tongue to facilitate breathing. It's one of the few times in yoga that we breathe in through the mouth. Usually we breathe in and out through the nose in yoga. So the first thing we have to do is find out if we have the tongue curling gene. You don't. You know already you don't. Okay. So some of you are going, what? So the tongue curling gene, can you roll your tongue? Hmm? Mm-mm. Okay. No, doesn't, no, that doesn't count. Okay, so if you have the tongue rolling gene, you're going to do this one way. If you don't have the tongue rolling gene, you're going to cup your tongue. So the important thing here is the tip of the tongue. So if you can't roll your tongue, you're going to stick your tongue out and bring the tip of your tongue up toward your nose. Now, those of us who have the tongue rolling gene may find it harder to do the tongue cupping, because I think that might be another genetic mutation that we do or do not have, right? So whichever one works for you. So try that out again. Make sure you know which of the two works best for you. Or? Okay. All right. We all know what we got, right? Y'all know who you are? Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate this as using tongue rolling, because that's what works for me. But if you're doing tongue cupping, it's going to be the same thing. So what we do is we stick out the tongue, roll the tongue or cup the tongue, and then we take a long, slow breath through the mouth so that the air moves over the tongue, specifically the tip of the tongue. Once we take a long, slow breath in, we withdraw the tongue. Now I'm going to go over this a few times, so don't worry, don't have to take notes. We withdraw the tongue in and then press it very lightly to the roof of your mouth. So let's try just the pressing to the roof of the mouth. So very lightly take the tip of your tongue and just touch it ever so lightly to the roof of your mouth, as far back as it'll go. So not toward your teeth, but kind of toward your tonsils. And so get that sensation of just gently touching it, but not mashing the tongue there, right? You got that? Okay, so let that all go. Okay, so let's do this a few times and then you'll understand why we're doing what we're doing. So here we go. Let's stick the tongue out. Breathe in slowly. Once you've inhaled, withdraw the tongue, place the tip very lightly on the roof of your mouth, way back toward your tonsils as you breathe out through your nose. And then when you're going to breathe in again, stick your tongue out. When you exhale, take the tip of your tongue, touch it to the roof of your mouth as you breathe out. Let's take a little break. I just want to make sure I don't have any questions. So, questions about what we're doing? Except why. I'll get to that. Okay, y'all good with that? Okay, let's keep going. So at your own pace, you're going to stick your tongue out. Using your tongue, if you're rolling your tongue, it's like a straw. It's like you're sucking in the air over through the straw. If you're cupping your tongue, you're inhaling over the tip of the tongue. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to notice that when you take the tip of your tongue and place it on the roof of your mouth, it's cooler. And you're transferring that coolness from the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. So continue to do this breathing technique. I know I'm not doing it because I'm talking you through it. So we're sticking the tongue out, breathing in through that straw of the tongue. When you've finished inhaling, you're going to take the tip of the tongue, touch it lightly to the roof of your mouth as you exhale through your nose. And just repeat. Again, as you stick your tongue out, breathing in through your mouth, so you're sucking in through a straw if your tongue is rolled, or over the tip of your tongue if your tongue is curled. When you get to the top of the inhalation, withdraw the tongue, place it lightly on the roof of the mouth as you exhale through the nose. Just complete one more cycle of this. So one more breath in through that curled or rolled tongue. One breath out with the tip of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth. Continue to keep your eyes closed as you relax your tongue and just go back to your natural breath. So again, your tongue is relaxed and just kind of lying in the bottom of your mouth. Your teeth, if your teeth are clenched, create a little space between your upper teeth and lower teeth. You're breathing in and out through your nose. And I just want you to notice the quality of the breath. Notice if the air that you're breathing in feels even cooler than it did before. And if the air that you're breathing out actually feels a little cooler than it did. And then let your eyes gently open. Okay. What did you notice about that besides it being kind of weird? Yeah, oh, your tongue only wants to do what it wants to do. Yes. Yes, it's very much like the toe exercise, right? Yeah, yeah. This is because how often do you do that breathing technique? Not very often. Maybe this is the first time ever, right? So it's kind of a weird thing. Did you notice the coolness of the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth? Yeah. Did you get a sense when you were breathing normally afterwards, did you get a sense that the quality of the air, the temperature quality of the air was a little bit different as it went in and out? Yeah, can be very cooling breath. So this is a great, if you're out, certainly hopefully not gardening today or through the weekend, but if you're outside and you're doing some activity that gets you a little bit warm, or you're just kind of feeling a little bit overheated, get down on the floor, do the legs over the chair or the legs up the wall, and do this breathing practice with the tongue going in and out across the tongue. This can be a very cooling thing as well, and also kind of fun. Especially if you do it with somebody else. Teach somebody else how to do that, and you'll say, "This is what we did in yoga." I don't know. Oh, great. Yes, kids love the lion, right? They love the lion. That's a great way to get the stress out of your face for sure, is to do that lion breath and to break down some barriers too. So, okay. So, sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to ask you to turn your head to the right, just your head, not your shoulders. Turn your head as far to the right as it'll go. When you get your head turned as far as it'll go, turn your eyes as far around as the eyes in the eye sockets as they'll go. And look back there. And notice what you can see. And then come back to center. Take a moment now. Recall the first time we did this. Could you see farther this time? Yes. It's amazing. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So turn just the head, not the shoulders, not the body. Look back there. When your head gets turned as far as it'll go, let your eyes go as far around in the eye sockets as possible. And then slowly come back to center. And again, notice. Do that little comparison. Yeah. So how many of you found a difference on both sides? Great. Yeah, so a lot of the work that we did was actually with the tongue, right? So just releasing some of that. Also releasing the tension in the sides of the neck, right? So doing this little movement here, this is a great one to do, just to kind of hang out a little bit. Creates a little more stretch through one side and the other. These can be very cooling in general. So here's what I'll say about not just yoga, but any kind of stretching that you can do. Muscles, when they're tight, are storing energy, right? Something that stores energy can become overheated, like a battery, right? So if a battery has too much energy, too much charge to it, it can overheat, it gets hot. So when we release the tension in the muscles, we're taking that potential energy that's stored in the muscle, we're turning it into kinetic energy through movement, and we're reducing the heat. So stretching can be a wonderful way to cool your body. just in general, just getting the tension out of your muscles. And it doesn't have to be, we just did like neck and shoulders and arms here this morning. We didn't do like a whole body thing. We just did that part. But that can significantly reduce the tension. The heat feeling in your body as well. Okay, and then we're going to end today with a bit of a meditation, because this is another way to really cool the body, is to get into a different headspace. For those of you who were here on Tuesday afternoon, I talked a lot about being able to change your perspective on things as a way to cope with the things that are challenging in life, right? So we think we have all this control, right? Here I am, this little being in space, and I have control over my domain, right? That is my story, because that is not reality. I think I have control, but I really don't. And so when I have this idea that I have control, and I lose control of something, my perception is really skewed. And now I can get anxious, I can get angry, I can get upset. So anything I can do to change my perception of that, it first for me begins with just accepting the fact that I don't have control. Just letting go of this false narrative for myself that I have control. But then the second thing is to say, okay, that's what's happening in this moment. I can breathe in this moment, and then I'm going to be into a new moment. And maybe it's the same in the new moment, but maybe in the moment after that it's not the same. So whatever I can do to change my perception, meditation is a great way to change your perception of things. So make yourselves comfortable. If you want to sit into the back of your chair, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to stay seated near the front of your chair, you can do that as well. Let your hands relax and rest wherever they're comfortable. Let your eyes close. So this is another really important feature of a meditation practice. Because we are so visual, we will get distracted with anything that comes across our visual field. So just closing your eyes in itself is a meditation. So with your eyes closed, just do a quick scan of your body from head to toe. Notice where you're holding some tension. Are you holding onto the chair? Are you clasping your hands? If your legs are crossed, maybe that's creating some tension in your hips or your knees. See if you can just let your legs relax. Your head is like a water balloon on top of your shoulders, so it's just really relaxed, sitting up there gently. Just feel your breath as it's moving in and out of your body. You don't have to change anything about how you're breathing. It's just your natural breath going in and out. And notice your thoughts. Notice if the thoughts are moving quickly or slowly. You might have a lot of thoughts going on right now, or maybe there's just one or two. Just let them be what they are. And now imagine yourself outside, and the weather is perfect. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. And now imagine yourself in your favorite spot. It might be at the beach, it might be in the grass, it might be in the woods, someplace outside, your favorite spot outside. It might be in your own yard. As you imagine yourself in your favorite spot, lie down in that spot. So if you're lying on the grass, feel your body being supported by the ground, by the grass and the soil underneath. If you're lying on the beach, maybe feel the sand underneath you. If you're lying in the woods, you might feel the leaves and pine needles underneath you. Just feel yourself supported by the ground, by the earth. And feel above you the air. There's a very slight breeze. Again, it's not too warm, it's not too cool. The wind isn't strong. It's just the right amount for you. And you can feel that breeze. What does that breeze feel like on your face and on your hands? And what does that breeze feel like as it moves your clothes? So maybe the air is moving in through your clothing. And as you're feeling your body supported by the earth and you're feeling the air moving over the part of your body that is not touching the earth, feel the sunshine on your face. And once again, it's just perfect. It's not too hot, it's not too cool. The sun is just perfect. Feel that warm glow on your face. The sun's rays are just bathing your eyes, your cheeks, your brow. And feel the warmth of your sun as it gently heats up your clothing or your skin on your hands or your feet. And again, it's not too hot, it's not too cool, it's just right. It's perfect temperature. Your body is comfortable lying on the ground. The air is gently moving across your body, and the warmth of the sun is radiating down onto your face, your clothes, your body. And feel how relaxed you are. Everything in this moment is perfect. Your physical body is supported. Your breath is moving easily. With every breath in and out, you feel yourself getting more relaxed. Allow your breath to deepen. Letting your belly expand with every inhalation and gently contract with the exhalation. Feel yourself coming back to this moment, away from your perfect place, back into the chair that you're seated on. Back into this room. And notice that it's still the same breath that you had from your perfect place to your now place. Same breath. Notice that it's the same body from your perfect place to your now place. Same body, same breath. Take a nice deep breath in, let it out with a sigh. And then you might take your hands together and just take a moment in gratitude for the space that we're all able to be in today. And if you'd like, you can let your eyes open and just kind of acknowledge these wonderful people around the room. All right. So stay cool, everybody. You're welcome. I'll see y'all next week.